Good morning, everyone. Happy February 13th, 2023. Hope you're all having an amazing day. Today we got an interesting topic. We are talking about something that I think is very prevalent in today's society. That's why I put up the poll, on the YouTube channel. I discussed a little bit about the numerous messages that I was getting throughout the last couple of weeks. I have to say, since January 1st, just the amount of messages I was getting based on stress and stress relief. A lot related to my tea videos, even comments on there, videos that weren't necessarily specific to stress or anxiety in general, and that will be our big topic for today. But really focusing on anxiety in those videos. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about some foods that we can have that will help to reduce anxiety, that will help to reduce symptoms of anxiety, things like depression, right? Things like, fatigue and the physical symptoms that can come from anxiety, and, talk a little bit about some of the things that we can do lifestyle-wise, but we will be focusing on foods. Again, I think this is something that is super important for our daily life, especially coming out of COVID-19, especially in the cool, cold, dark winter months of winter for most of us. If you're in a sunny place, warm place right now, go out, get that natural sunlight, get that vitamin D. It's going to help tremendously, and we're going to talk a lot about that in this video. So I hope you guys really come in. Make sure that you ask your questions. Our anxiety, like I said, super prevalent. You are not alone if you are dealing with anxiety symptoms. All right, we know that the numbers are continuing to go up. They've only gone up, all right, since the early 2000s. I've looked at the numbers. We see a steady incline in individuals that are dealing with not only mental illness, but specifically, like I said, today our discussion is about anxiety, specifically with anxiety and anxiety disorders. Whether that be any anxiety disorder on the spectrum. Say you're dealing with generalized anxiety disorder, all right, panic disorder, OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, all right, all falling under the umbrella of anxiety. Leave in the comment section below if you are dealing with that. I would love to, know if there's specific people. Don't be shy. We all have something that we are dealing with. So let me know. Say hi. Let me know where you're listening from. Joshua, good to see you in chat. Thank you, my friend. So let's just come out there and let's just quickly start. Like I said, these are numbers from 2017. All right, the prevalence of individuals who are dealing with mental health disorders. All right, and it's quite fascinating. We see and the reason why I'm really pointing this out is because this was from 2017. I couldn't find any numbers that were updated in 2022. I think the best one that I saw, it was, for the United States, it was like 30%. I think that's a little bit high. Could be wrong. All right, it's, I couldn't find anything conclusive, but we're talking about worldwide, all right, mental health. All right, and I think that's really, really important to go over before we start talking about anxiety. And I know that's something everyone wants to discuss. Mary, great to see you. Happy Monday. I hope you're doing amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. It's always great to see you, Mary. I'm glad that you got the notification. So thank you for coming in. But let's talk a little bit about world population, right? How many people are dealing with anxiety? It's hundreds of millions of individuals who are dealing with anxiety disorders right now. Right? And that is from 2017. Just think of post-COVID, the amount of anxiety that has gone up. We know mental health, any mental health disorder, right? Before, on a global stage, you were seeing 11%, 15%. The numbers get a little bit skewed with different studies. I would imagine that I think in 2017, anxiety disorders was about 300 million individuals in the United States. I would not be surprised if that doubled. All right. And if we're talking about depression, add another 300 million people in 2017. Right now, you got just in anxiety and depression alone, 700 million people pretty much in 2017. Right now, could you only imagine what that number is? Is it a billion? All right. I'm sure the numbers are out there. I could not find anything conclusive, so I did not want to put that out there. This was conclusive. This was a great study, first published in 2018, I should say. Starting to be a little bit more updated. Hopefully we get more current information. All right. Again, in these studies, we're seeing almost 1 billion individuals who are dealing with some sort of mental disorder. And speaking with anxiety, depression, anxiety alone, though, 500 million people. I mean, that is a tremendous number. So what are some of the things? And let's just point out really quickly. A lot of people think, it's an American, we look at the American numbers, all right? But we see the share of population with mental health disorders. All right, I found this interesting from 2019 world data. All right, we see not only, yes, the United States very high, about 17% of individuals dealing with some sort of mental health disorder, which includes depression and anxiety being at some of the highest. All right, again, you're going to have a little bit of bipolar, eating disorder, schizophrenia, that's much lower than anxiety, but about 17% in the United States, Canada 15%. We see Australia almost 20% of individuals dealing with mental health disorders, and a big portion of that is anxiety. It's in Brazil, almost 17%. We see it in areas like Bolivia, over 15%, Iran 19%, Spain 18%. All right, and this is pre-COVID, guys. Remember, this is pre-COVID, and this is all over the world. If we look at somewhere like Greenland, all right, Greenland, 18%. Could go on and on. I mean, really, we could go on and on here. France, 17%, Italy, 15%, England, 16%, Ireland, almost 18%. And again, this is in 2019, guys. I can only see those numbers going up. So leave in the comments section below if you have any questions related to anxiety. We see in these numbers in our world data, it's not only in the Western world, we see it everywhere. All right, we see it everywhere. I mean, you even see places like India, all right, about 15%. Places like Afghanistan, 18%. We already mentioned Iran, another high area. New Zealand, 20% in 2019. Wow, I'll give one more. What was another one that I found interesting? Chile, about 15.5%. Argentina, 14%. And again, I would expect those only to get higher as we come out of COVID, guys. So please ask your questions. Let's talk about some foods, all right? And let's get right into it. Mostly Americans died from anxiety and depression as COVID-19. Melanie, welcome to chat. Thank you so much. Again, let me know where you're listening from, guys. Let me know where you're listening from. I would love to hear from it. Love to hear from you. Let me know where you're listening from. So let's talk about, we set the stage. We know that this isn't only an issue in the United States. This isn't only an issue in the Western world. It's a global, really, epidemic, pandemic, whatever you want to call it. Anxiety disorders are going up. Anxiety is going up. So how do we relieve that naturally? All right, let's talk about some of the foods. All right, that's what this stream is all about. So, Melanie, to answer your question, all right, what foods? All right, well, the first one, and we're going to get into it. All right, we're going to get into it. Don't you worry. But we got to set the stage. We got to set the background. Why is it important? Why are we doing this stream? We don't just do this stream because, it's content for the channel. We do this stream to help people. So the first one I would say, all right, is chamomile. All right, a very important herb that has been known, all right, to help reduce anxiety. And there's been numerous studies out there that show that chamomile can help to reduce anxiety. All right, and has a calming effect. A lot of individuals, all right, will cut off their caffeine intake after, say, about 2 p.m. That's what I do with a lot of my clients, especially if they're dealing with anxiety. No caffeine or coffee after 2 p.m. And then they can drink teas. Herbal teas are always great because they're caffeine free. Now, why is chamomile so great? Why can chamomile help to relieve anxiety symptoms? Well, we know that it contains one, antioxidants and anti-inflammatory properties. We see this in numerous studies. All right, we can pull them up if we wanted to, but we know that lowers inflammation in the body. All right, a lot of antidepressant and a lot of anti-anxiety. All right, so what we see in these studies, and again, it's not just one study, it's not just two studies, it's numerous study. All right, numerous studies, all right, that it has been lower inflammation, all right, as associated with anxiety. So foods, all right, like some people have mentioned in chat, berries and things like that, but I really want to hit you with the ones that are the best. Okay, chamomile is one of them. All right, we know that through these studies, lower inflammation has been associated with lower anxiety levels. Okay, now why is that? We believe, all right, that chamomile can help to regulate mood, such and neurotransmitters, really. So when we talk about neurotransmitters, think about things like serotonin, dopamine, GABA, things of that nature. Okay, so it can help to relieve some of the mechanisms that are associated with anxiety, related to mood, especially serotonin, dopamine, a huge one. All right, dopamine being very big, all right, and GABA, again, very, very big. Now, we also know, all right, when it comes to anxiety, we see certain studies, all right, with chamomile extract, all right, being very, very helpful in anxiety relief. All right, and again, that just goes back to what we just said. Lower inflammation, anti-inflammatory properties, high in antioxidants, and helping to regulate neurotransmitters related to mood, all right, and anxiety, serotonin, dopamine, and GABA. There's an interesting study out there, okay, where we saw a lowering of individuals, all right, who are dealing with generalized anxiety disorder. So just anxiety, all right, not panic disorder or anything like that, but generalized anxiety disorder. So anxious symptoms, all right, almost constantly, right? We see a reduction, all right, for those individuals consuming about 1,500 milligrams a day of chamomile extract. All right, if you want to really think about it, it's about 1 to 2 cups of chamomile tea. And I'm a big fan of herbal teas when it comes to anxiety relief, relaxation. All right, again, another study. All right, those individuals who consumed chamomile, all right, and chamomile tea experienced a reduction in both symptoms of depression and anxiety. The big one being anxiety, because that's our discussion for today. All right, but again, those individuals who are really, really anxious, a lot of the times tied into depression, tied into stress. So those individuals consuming chamomile, and I think it was for 8 weeks, remember, it's not going to be an overnight fix. And I should preface this, speak with your medical practitioner if you're dealing with any of these symptoms. Okay, speak with your medical practitioner. I'm giving you some foods that can be helpful, but you need to make sure you speak with your medical practitioner. All right, but those individuals who consumed chamomile, chamomile extract, chamomile tea, after 8 weeks experienced a reduction in symptoms of anxiety. All right, and that's very, very important. So we know chamomile has anti-anxiety effects. Chamomile tea is a great one. I think chamomile tea is super, super important and can really help to reduce anxiety symptoms. Now, I have to say, thank you so much for the thumbs up. You guys are my algorithm. If you're enjoying the chat, if you want more chats, all right, make sure you're hitting that like button. Really, really appreciate that. Okay, so broccoli, spinach, avocado, blueberries, and walnuts help with anxiety. And I do eat most of that except the walnuts. So is that a quarter cup a day? I think a quarter cup is just fine, Melanie. Absolutely. You don't want to overdo it with walnuts. And the nice thing with walnuts, and we'll get into this in a discussion, is you're getting omega-3 fatty acids, one of the only nut varieties. All right, and it's why walnuts are one of my favorites. One of the only nut varieties that actually give omega-3 fatty acids. Tons of antioxidants, tons of nutrients. We want nutrients. All right, we want those anti-inflammatories. All right, those anti-inflammatory properties and antioxidants. Yes, it's part of a quarter cup of walnuts to use making cookies to bake. Yes, quarter cup is just fine. I mean, I have about 10 to 12 halves of walnuts a day. All right, so, I don't have to eat them in a large amount. Just a little bit will go a long way. And again, if you're having a large amount, you're only increasing the amount of calories, all right? You can have a multitude of foods, all right, the ones that we're going to mention. You can have chamomile tea, caffeine-free, calorie-free. That's why I love chamomile. That's why it's on the list. Okay, take a multivitamin for women over 50 and B12 sublingual. Yep, that's great. B12 is very, very good. Of course, we want multivitamins. Absolutely. Okay, well, I've been able to lower my anxiety meds, so that's great, Melanie. Congratulations, too, because I do all of that, but I'll include those walnuts, too. I'll eat them straight or in. Well, if you haven't give chamomile a try chamomile tea. I'll also give another one, guys. I think another one, if we want to help reduce, all right, some of the symptoms, some herbal remedies, some things that are naturally going to reduce anxiety levels. All right, chamomile and passion flower. Passion flower, very underrated. So, you know, I like a lot of teas that have a combination of chamomile and passion flower in them. All right, passion flower, numerous studies, all right, and has been used really for multiple generations to treat anxiety symptoms, all right, in overall mental wellness, all right. And also we see in studies, all right, very, very recent studies, and again, we're not talking about one study, we're talking about multiple studies here, where passion flower can help to reduce feelings of stress and anxiety. So we have chamomile and we have passion flower. The best way, I think, to get those, because, you know, they are herbs, right, is through tea. Now, you can supplement with it. That's fine as well. But tea is very, very enjoyable. For some reason, drinking a warm tea, all right, is very relaxing, and individuals have kind of shown and reported that having those types of teas have reduced stress. There's a good stress relief tea, right, that I've had, chamomile and passion flower. I can speak from my own experience. I can speak from hundreds of clients that I've worked with dealing with stress, that these are two of the best. Green tea also works, yes. Green tea is good for anxiety, I have to say. It does have a little bit of caffeine in it, but it contains L-theanine, an amino acid that has very, very positive effects on brain health and anxiety. Numerous studies on that too. So that's a great question, Mary. Okay, so green tea for anxiety. I drink green tea. All right, and again, a lot of it is for anti-anxiety. I just cut it off usually at about 4 p.m. All right, now a lot of people can drink it later. All right, but I don't want that caffeine in my body post 4 o'clock p.m. Now, why is that? Well, one, caffeine is going to increase anxiety a little bit, especially if you have high levels of anxiety. A lot of people ask me, how much coffee should I have? Because there's a lot of coffee drinkers. I am one of them. All right, 300 to 400 milligrams per day. Now, a lot of people will say, Coach Nate, that's cutting off a ton of my coffee. Well, I think about 2 12-ounce coffees is about 270 milligrams. So basically, you can have 2 12-ounce coffees easily and fit right underneath that lower end. All right, and then if you need a third, all right, maybe a smaller one or a green tea. That would be my perspective. I used to be on 100. Okay, so I'm Steph. Sorry, I'm missing some of the comments here. Hi, what's your view on acidic fruits and vegetables? Could these contribute to anxiety? Thanks. That's a great question, Steph. Thank you so much for asking. All right. You know, I would try to stay away from acidic fruits if you can, all right, and vegetables. But again, we see numerous vegetables and numerous fruits that are very, very helpful. Now, things like citrus fruits, all right, and things like bell peppers, all right, that can sometimes be classified as acidic, can actually help with anxiety. Again, why is that? Well, we know they have tons of antioxidants. They're rich in vitamin C. I mean, bell peppers are some of the highest vitamin C that you're going to get. Citrus fruits as well. Lemons, limes, grapefruit, things like of that nature. You get tons of vitamin C, antioxidants, which we already know is important. It's going to reduce inflammation, prevent cell damage, all right, and promote anti-anxiety relief. So, you know, when it comes to, I would stay away from, you know, if I was, when it comes to like acidic fruits, all right, and vegetables, I would say, is that going to contribute to anxiety? It might. That's the short. It's going to affect people differently. Now, what's really going to affect your anxiety? alcohol, high caffeine intake, all right? Not getting movement, so being sedentary, not getting enough sleep, all right? Eating high saturated, high trans fats, preservatives, processed foods, Steph. All right, I think that is going to be your major contributor to anxiety. I think when it comes to fruits and vegetables, get your fruits and vegetables in. If they're a little bit more acidic, cut them back a little bit. As you guys know, berries are my favorite. All right, berries also have tremendous anti-anxiety relief abilities. All right, and when it comes to vegetables, you can't go wrong with dark leafy green vegetables. All right. So, a lot of the times, if we're looking at fruits and vegetables for contributing to anxiety, I would first take a look at, are we having high caffeine intake? Are we having high sugar intake? Are we eating a lot of sodium? Things of that nature, things that aren't good for the body, that is going to create inflammation, because we already know there's a correlation between high inflammation foods, high inflammation in the body, and higher anxiety. So I hope that helps answer your question, Steph. Yes, you can moderate your, acidic fruits and vegetables. Can it contribute? It might, depending on the person. But again, I would look at some of those other things. Fruits and vegetables, all right, unless you're really seeing a negative impact on your health from certain vegetables. A lot of people, who have arthritic symptoms, they can't have nightshade vegetables. It's the same thing with anxiety. It just will affect individuals differently. Favorite snacks for anxiety? Almonds, and we're going to get into it. Exercise is key for managing anxiety. Absolutely, Mary. Movement is so important, guys. We can make diet, and we're talking about food today, but we'll have a stream, we'll have videos on lifestyle changes as well. Yeah, junk foods are worse for biggest depression, anxiety disorder, as acidity. Absolutely. So when we're talking about acidity, sugar, sodium, alcohol, caffeine in some instances. Thank you, Joshua. Yeah, exercise is medicine. You got it right. Thank you. Yeah, I'm a big believer in it. That's my line of work. So, I've done a lot of research in exercise. But we'll get back to the herbal remedies, guys. Passion flower, a great one. Let's continue on with some of, the foods. What are some of the foods? Well, we see again, don't forget, passion flower, great anti-anxiety properties, used for generations, all right, used to promote mental health, all right, used to promote mental wellness, all right, and reducing feelings of anxiety. And sometimes with anxiety can come increased stress. We know that passion flower can also help to reduce stress. Anxiety being the big one, though. Now, we also need to know, the nice thing is, for most people, passion flower, or even in long-term studies, is safe and effective for most individuals. Again, this is why you need to speak with your medical practitioner, because I found a study, those individuals who are pregnant, all right, you probably might want to stay away from things like passion flower. So this is why it's important. I give the information, but you need to speak with your medical practitioner as well. Okay, now how much passion flower? Usually you're seeing some sort of 500 milligrams to 700 milligrams per day. All right, that's usually the amount that you want to get in. You'll get that easily if you're having tea. You can get that through numerous foods. Thank you so much for the thumbs up again, guys. 20 thumbs up. Appreciate it. Keep hitting that thumbs up button. You guys are amazing. We're going to keep going with the foods. But Mary, you make a great point. Joshua, you make a great point. All right. Exercise is key. We need that. And sleep. Exercise and sleep being the biggest ones. And we'll talk about those lifestyle changes next time. So passion flower, I think, is a great one. Very underrated. That's why I like giving that one, because not a lot of people have really even heard of passion flower or its ability to help with anxiety. Okay, so if we're thinking herbal, think chamomile, passion flower. All right, no, if any, caffeine. All right, probably very little in each of those, and we see numerous studies that show its anti-anxiety effects. Okay. Now, what are some other foods? Let's keep going. Health rocks. That's exactly right, Jazz. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Thank you, Jazz, for coming in. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. health rocks. Absolutely. It certainly does. And it's tremendously important. Sometimes we lose sight of that fact, just how important our overall health is. And in today's stream, our mental health. All right. Our physical health, but also our mental health. We need to get our mental health right. That's why we're talking about natural anxiety relieving foods. Now, let's get into some other foods that I love. All right. We already had chamomile. All right. Passion flower, I think best as a tea. What are some of the other ones? Well, another great one, guys, is going to be salmon. All right. Now, why salmon? Now, the great thing is I always get some kind of comments, I don't eat fish, I don't like salmon. That's okay. You can always supplement, all right, with salmon as a fish oil. Now, why salmon? All right, salmon can help with reducing anxiety, numerous benefits out there. But what is the real reason? The real reason why it can help, all right? Great alignment video. Thank you very much, Jazz. I appreciate you. Thank you for the nice words. Right now, why can salmon help? Here's the most important thing. Here's what salmon has that not a lot of other foods has. It contains a lot of anti-anxiety nutrients and nutrients that promote brain health overall. Now, what are those? Number one being omega-3 fatty acids, and that's why I was saying walnuts are one of my favorite for snacking, all right, for for anxiety. Now, that also includes vitamin D, but again, another important one is EPA and DHA. So you have omega-3 fatty acids, all right, vitamin D, all right, EPA, all right, fats, and DHA. Now, we see numerous studies again where that has not only brain health promoting effects, but anti-anxiety abilities. Tremendously important. Again, salmon and these nutrients found in salmon can help to regulate neurotransmitters such as Remember I said dopamine was an important one? Controlling dopamine is really important. Our dopamine is that feel-good neurotransmitter, all right? That thing that we're kind of craving, right? But it can help. But when you get that high, you get the low, all right? And you get the anxiety feelings, all right? Dopamine, there's a ton of dopamine things out there. People are addicted to their phones, messages, TikTok, social media, all of that stuff. Everyone's looking for that dopamine fix. We're in a constant sort of cycle for dopamine. Sugar is a big one. I think that's a major contributor to why we're getting so much sugar. So much sugar intake. Fast food. Some foods are becoming our dopamine addiction. So keep that in mind. Wow, I did not know that about salmon. Yeah, salmon is great. One of the best. Now, do you have to have it every day? Absolutely not. Same thing with salmon, Jazz. Fish oil supplements. Do you need it every day? No, you can supplement it every other day. That's just fine. All right, but make sure that you're getting in your omega-3 fats. All right, your omega-3 fats is very important when it comes to, feeling good, when it comes to relieving anxiety, all right, and just good for the brain overall. It's easy to get omega-6s. I apologize. It's tough to get omega-3 fatty acids. All right, and that EPA and DHA and salmon does it all. Now, again, going back to the neurotransmitters, these nutrients, vitamin D, omega-3 fatty acids, DHA, and EPA, they can help to regulate dopamine and serotonin. All right, and why is that so important? You've heard me talk about this in other foods that have come up. Well, they can have calming and relaxing properties, naturally relieving anxiety symptoms. Amazing. All right. Again, we also know that EPA and DHA, all right, which is very, very tough to get outside of salmon or a fish oil supplement, all right, associated in numerous studies with lower rates of anxiety. So what an amazing food salmon is. It's at the top of my list. All right, the other ones more so like a tea. I would love to create a tea for you guys, like an anti-anxiety tea, putting certain ingredients together. Things that I haven't really seen out there, but there's just so many good herbs and things that are amazing to help with our anxiety. Let me just catch up on some of these comments here. I eat a lot of trout. Would that be the same as salmon? Great question. I believe it's the same family fish. It is a farm grown though. Trout is very, very healthy, Jacob. If we're trying to is it the same as salmon? All right, it's healthy. It has great protein. It's lean. It just does not have the amount of omega-3 fatty acids. All right. If you're thinking about fatty acids, Jacob, here are the 3 things that I want you to think of. Now, one, sardines, probably not everyone's favorite, but some people like sardines. All right. If we're thinking omega-3, salmon is at the top. Trout has a little bit. I'm not saying it doesn't have any, but it's at the lower end. Okay. You have to eat a lot of trout to be able to get those omega-3s, and especially EPA and DHA. But if you're thinking omega-3s and EPA, DHA, vitamin D, you're thinking salmon, you're thinking sardines, and you're thinking mackerel. Those are your top 3. Okay, trout, yes, to a certain extent. Some people will throw tuna in there. Just not going to cut it. There's really no fat in tuna. So a little bit of a misconception out there for a lot of people. Trout is a little bit in the same range, a little bit, but it's just not on par with salmon, mackerel, and sardines. Excellent question, Jacob. Thank you so much for asking. I appreciate you. Thank you, Jazz, as well. Thank you, Mac. Thank you. Great to see you. Thank you so much, Matt K. Appreciate you guys all in here. Jazz, superfoods. You're exactly nailing it. It's a superfood. I am 100%. And if you watch these streams and you see the videos, I do not claim foods to be superfoods very quickly. I think superfoods is a term that's thrown around way too lately. There is just way too many lists out there that are like 70 superfoods for you, 80 superfoods, 100 superfoods. Right? It's just, we stick to the basics. I think that there's really about 10 to 15 superfoods out there. And we can get into a whole discussion on another stream about what superfoods really are. Thank you, everyone, for welcoming Mac in here. You should definitely do the teas for us. You know what, Jazz? I'm really glad you said that, because that's something that I started thinking about on Friday. All right, I have my teas. All right, there's special ingredients out there that have been proven to help with anxiety. Chamomile, passion fruit. You could throw cardamom in there. Fennel is another great one. Anise seed is another great one. Those are just off the top of my head. All right, but I would love to do those teas for you. I hope there are other teas too. Yes, kind of the ones that I just had said, Mac. Like teas that have like a natural blend, organic blend, licorice root to a certain extent. All right, licorice root to a certain extent. All right, but I would go with like fennel, chamomile, cardamom, passion flower, of course, one of my favorites. All right, those are some great teas. Even green tea. You just want to be careful if you're sensitive to caffeine. Is chamomile the only tea we can look to? Great question, Jazz. No, it is not. Chamomile, passion flower, all right, a great one. Cardamom is a great one. Turmeric tea, another good one. I really, really like a mix of green tea and turmeric, all right. For stress, though, I would really, or anxiety, all right. They're in and of the same. Depression, stress, anxiety, all right. But if we're really focusing on anxiety, I would go with, your chamomile, I would go with your passion flower, I would go with fennel, I would go with cardamom, and anise seed, all right? And ANISEED, all right? Those are some of my favorites. There's 5 right there, and there's some really good blends. Yes, a licorice root, a green tea is nice if you're not sensitive to caffeine. Those are all great. All right, and those are the best. Ribose as well, guys. Ribose as well. We can't forget that. We can't forget ribose. Ribose is very, very nice as well. Hope that helps answering your question. But yes, green tea. Because green tea, all right, the thing about green tea and turmeric, and that's why I said green tea and turmeric, all right, we see so many antioxidants, all right, so many brain promoting abilities, all right, like in turmeric, you have curcumin, all right? Where are you going to find that, all right? Increases the conversion of alpha-linoleic acid, all right? An omega-3 found in plants, all right? So amazing, all right? Into DHA. So remember I said it's hard to find EPA and DHA? Well, turmeric can help you find it, all right? Increase DHA levels in the brain. Amazing. Things like green tea, L-theanine, all right? a super high amino acid. All right. Green tea can help to lower cortisol levels. So with that important amino acid, and it has EGCG. All right. So green tea, another tea. I would love to make teas for you guys. I'm telling you, I've almost become obsessed with blends and anti-anxiety blends and stress relief teas. There's just so many great things out there. And I think I could really, really help you guys out with doing that. But that's neither here or there. Lavender tea too. Good job, Joshua. Lavender is great as well. Lavender tea. But that's more than enough. If you stick to those, you're doing a great job. There's an Asian green tea. You know what? I have a Supreme matcha green tea, Mac. And, I see a lot of, Asian green tea. I love it. It's for stress relief. It's amazing. The taste is great. And it's super, super healthy. Has that amino acid. It has that EGCG. With cinnamon. That's interesting. Sounds great. Please share the recipe. Thank you so much for sharing all your information. Well, my pleasure, Mac. Thank you for coming in, asking your questions, engaging. May Almighty bless and grow this channel more. Amen. Thank you, Mac. Amen. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for that. Yes, thank you for sharing with us. I haven't heard of at least 4 of those you've mentioned. Well, great, Jazz. And that's the point of these live streams, coming at you with the good information, coming at you with things that maybe you haven't heard before. Jazz, I am so happy that you're able to get value out of this live stream, and I hope everyone else is. And if you are, hit that like button like you guys have been doing so much today in the live stream. I appreciate all of you. Yes, definitely coming back for that tea video. Yes, tea videos 100%. Mary, you're interested in the teas as well. Great. The teas will be coming. There's so much. I've done so much research on teas and anti-anxiety and everything like that. Stress relief, so many great ones. I want to make my own. I want to make my own and provide that service. That would be something great. Really give me a great feeling of not only doing something that I'm passionate about, but helping people. That's what it's all about. That's what this world has to be. Like Max said, amen to that, Mac. It's all about helping people. I went through at the very beginning the numbers of the people all around the world who are at the percentage of people who are dealing with some sort of mental disorder. And at the very top of those mental disorders is anxiety. Depression is up there as well, but anxiety makes up a large proportion of those 20% numbers, 17%, 19%. The green tea I'm talking about is quite different from the green tea which I use for weight loss. It's an Asian in which we use cinnamon soon. I'll share recipes so you can make. That's great, Mac. I would appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing with me. My pleasure, Joshua. There's nothing like creating a tea. That's different. You're exactly right, Jazz. And that's the thing. Creating something that you put work into, all right, that you research and you try yourself, all right? Creating those blends, creating those teas, nothing better than that. And then getting people who tell you, it's like when I program workouts for individuals or create diets for individuals, and then they give me feedback on how that helped them. There's no better feeling, all right? At least for myself, all right? I love to serve and help people, and I think that's what it's all about. Amen to that, Mac. So let's continue with the foods here, guys. All right, we got salmon. I hope you guys don't underestimate when I'm talking about salmon here. And again, it can be a fish oil supplement. Why? Omega-3 fatty acids, they're just so devoid in our daily diet. EPA and DHA as well. All right. Vitamin D to a certain extent also. That's why I always say one of my top supplements, if I was to, people always ask me, should I take this supplement? Should I take that supplement? They'll come in with, all of these different supplements, fat burners, things of that nature. 4 supplements that I always recommend. Again, speak with your medical practitioner, but vitamin D with K2 if you can. That synergistic effect is amazing. So vitamin D3 with K2, omega-3 fatty acids, a probiotic, and a multivitamin. All right, and we're getting a lot of that from salmon right there. Now we know that, Not only is salmon great for reducing anxiety levels, all right, but it can also help to prevent brain cell dysfunction, which is common in people with anxiety. Numerous studies out there for that, guys. Now, vitamin D also, again, vitamin D, hard to find in a lot of foods, but vitamin D in numerous studies, positive effects of reducing symptoms of anxiety. That is amazing. There's a one I still remember. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I wish I did, but it doesn't matter. It's from 2022, a meta-analysis showing how important vitamin D is, and this is why it's one of my recommended, but try to get it with K2, all right? A meta-analysis, and what that means is they're looking at a bunch of different studies, so numerous studies, and the importance of vitamin D. Okay, I just found it. The effect of vitamin D supplement on negative emotions, a systematic review and meta-analysis. So looking at a bunch of different studies. In that 2020 meta-analysis, it showed that vitamin D supplementation was associated with lower rates of negative mood disorders like anxiety and reducing anxiety for those individuals. And it makes sense. I mean, you've all heard probably a SAD, seasonal anxiety disorder. Why? You're getting less sunlight, you're not outside, it's cold, all right, especially here in Canada, very prevalent. A lot of my clients, or a proportion of my clients dealing with it. You're just not getting that natural vitamin D. I'd love to purchase. All right, Jazz. Well, maybe that's something I'll look into. Thank you so much for the support, guys. Thank you so much for the support, Jazz. I appreciate you. Oh, you forgot matcha tea. Well, also powerful. Well, don't forget, Joshua, the green tea that I said was Supreme Green Matcha. All right, Supreme Green Matcha tea. All right. So matcha, yes, very, very important. And that's one, anxiety. I drink anxiety for its numerous health benefits. I drink green tea for its numerous health benefits, but also to benefit anxiety. Mary, I would definitely purchase a tea blend you create. Well, thank you so much again, Mary. Jazz and Mary, thank you so much for that. That little vote of confidence, that means so much. I hope you follow through with that if your schedule permits. Well, you guys are pushing me towards it. I'll say that. It's just one of those things, You always just want to create good service. And when you think that you can provide that and you put the time in and the research in, that's something that you can always fall back on and be proud of. So thank you, Mary. Thank you, Jazz, for saying that. I really appreciate that. I'll look up a resource for tea will help prevent brain disorder. If you're looking for that, Joshua, green tea, white tea, all amazing. Drink anxiety. It's funny because sometimes I'll be looking at the comments while I'm talking, and then a word will pop up. And then there you go. That's the beauty of doing a live stream, Jazz. So salmon, don't underrate it, guys. Don't underrate it. Now, we already know walnuts. All right, now what's another one? What else is great for anxiety? I want to give something for everyone. All right, almonds. All right, if you're not a meat or fish lover, if it's not part of your diet, all right, almonds are great. We already know walnuts are great as well. We know blueberries are great. So there's a fruit for you. All right. Steph came in and asked, all right, we know that blueberries are very, very good. Flavonoids, especially in these types of foods. All right. Really, really helpful for improving brain health and relieving anxiety. All right. So the flavonoids, especially. Now, almonds, great for a number of different reasons. Healthy fats, super high in pretty much every nutrient, a ton of nutrients. All right, it goes on and on. Magnesium, manganese, vitamin E. All right, amazing. Almonds are great. Now, what else is the reason why that I would say almonds? Well, we know that through all of its great healthy fats, its antioxidants like vitamin E, its anti-inflammatory properties, right? We know that it can promote brain function and reduce anxiety naturally, which is awesome. Almonds can reduce oxidative stress and inflammation, both of which, again, as we've seen in the discussion, can be involved in the development of anxiety or exacerbate anxiety symptoms if you already have it. Numerous studies on that. All right, almonds are amazing. The other amazing things about almonds is they have amazing, all right, and they can offer mood boosting properties. If you're dealing with anxiety, almonds can help to boost mood naturally, right, and reduce anxiety naturally. Yeah, you can't mention tea without the tea lovers coming in like addicts. Sorry if we took... Well, that's okay, Jazz. You take it over. I love the engagement. I always say the live streams are for engagement. Absolutely. No problem with that. Take it over. Teas are great. When it comes to anxiety and relieving it naturally, I think teas are one of the most important things. When it comes to food, we know the lifestyle changes that we've talked a little bit about in today's stream, which I'll talk about in another video because I think it's just important. If we're thinking about our overall health, then we cannot negate lifestyle changes as well. You can eat all of these foods, but if you're only getting 4 hours of sleep a night, it's not going to make much of a difference. If you're living a sedentary life, if you're dealing with obesity, if you are smoking, if you are over consuming alcohol, if you're drinking caffeine and what are they called? If you're drinking caffeine and if you're drinking energy drinks, all right, it's not going to make that much of a difference. We need to make sure that we're doing both. They both go hand in hand, just like vitamin D3 and K2, that synergistic effect. Food and lifestyle changes, same thing. I've been thinking about making granolas with peanut butter and nuts to make it easier. I think that's just fine. If you're going to make granola or something like that, I would leave and a lot of people will put it in, I would leave the dried fruits out. Like people will put dried cranberries or raisins and things like that jazz. It's just empty calories, very low nutrients, and a ton of sugar. With peanut butter and nuts, I think that's awesome. Again, try to keep it in moderation, but good for you. That's a great idea. Yes, walnuts and almonds for anxiety. Exactly. So almonds, tremendous. All right. We know in studies, decrease symptoms of anxiety. All right. Another very, very good study. All right. Thousands of individuals in this study, all right, consumed, almonds pretty much every day. Right? So who were consuming almonds consistently were less likely, 66% less likely to experience anxiety than those who consumed, all right, no almonds or very few almonds or sporadically, maybe like once a week. But those who are consuming almonds consistently, almost daily, they were 66%, all right, 2/3 less likely to experience anxiety than those who did not consume almonds. All right, and again, that goes back to, all right, it's all of its great nutrients, its brain function promoting effects, its healthy fats, its reduction of oxidative stress, all right, it's a reduction in inflammation, its mood boosting properties, all right. All of those things are leading to that. So it's like, well, how do we have this tremendous change in individuals who, eat almonds versus those who don't? Well, we see all of the benefits that almonds provide, which is an amazing choice for us. I think that's awesome. All right. High quality studies of almonds show that they can impact mood and anxiety. It doesn't get better than that, guys. Now, here's another good food that might surprise some people, right? And I think this is a true superfood. All right. The last one, eggs. All right. If you're eating eggs, we've known through numerous studies. And again, think back to the salmon, all right, example. Why salmon is one of the best foods to help relieve stress and anxiety, especially anxiety, naturally. Well, we had vitamin D, all right? We had healthy fats. It's the same thing, all right, with eggs, all right? Now, eggs, excellent source of tryptophan. Again, going back to those neurotransmitters, all right, which can be beneficial for anxiety symptoms. We also know, here's why I like salmon and eggs as well. If we have inadequate protein intake, so if our protein is too low, and this is why I'm a huge fan of protein, all right, those individuals who have gotten one-on-one coaching with me, you know how important protein is for me in your daily diet. Now, does it mean it has to be 40% of your calorie intake when it comes to macros? No, 20% is a great start. If you're getting 20% of your calories from protein, I think that is a tremendous start. People are usually much lower, like 5 to 10% protein. It's all carbohydrates and fats. So inadequate, we see in studies, inadequate protein intake and tryptophan, all right, so those foods that are high in tryptophan, if we're low or inadequate in that, all right, that is associated with higher anxiety levels. So eggs do both. It's like a double whammy. All right, you get the high protein, you get tryptophan. All right, you could say it's a triple whammy because you get some vitamin D. All right, and again, vitamin D is not found in a lot of foods, but we know eggs also contain vitamin D. You can get them fortified with vitamin D, so higher levels of vitamin D. All right. And again, but it has to be the whole egg, right? Because I'll get that question a lot. Can I get vitamin D from egg whites? No, you have to have the whole egg. Nothing wrong with the whole egg. A lot of people are worried about cholesterol. Again, foods that are higher in cholesterol, I'm not saying go out and eat 10 to 15 eggs a day, but remember, our consumption of cholesterol has very little effect, all right? It's not no effect, but very little effect on our serum cholesterol levels. It's more, are we a healthy weight? Are we working out? Are we sedentary? Do we smoke? Do we drink alcohol in excess? Things of that nature. That is going to have a much, much larger effect on your cholesterol levels. All right, so don't be scared of eggs, guys. How do we prepare the eggs? You can prepare them any way that you want, Jazz. You can have hard-boiled eggs. You can have scrambled eggs. Just make sure that you're having eggs. All right, getting the eggs in, getting the whole egg in. That's the beauty with eggs. You can prepare them a number of different ways. But that's a great question. How do you prepare them? You can prepare them any way that you like, any way that you enjoy, as long as you're getting that yolk. Okay, so vitamin D, also, again, we know that vitamin D associated with symptoms, low in vitamin D associated with an increased risk of anxiety symptoms. All right, so we want to make sure that we're limiting those risks. All right, we're limiting that increase of symptoms, possible symptoms. Okay, so several nutrients in eggs beneficial. All right, the fats in eggs beneficial. Choline being one of them, hard to find in a lot of other foods. Right? We know eggs are tremendously important for anxiety relief. Now, if you want some quick ones here, guys, all right, there's a lot that you'll find that really, really don't help. All right, there's a lot that's out there. All right, do I think things like dark chocolate? Well, for some people, maybe, all right, it has flavonols, all right, it has catechins, it has great antioxidants, but it also is quite high in caffeine. So if you're sensitive to caffeine, it can be, pretty detrimental to you, all right, and it's also, a little bit high in fat. We're talking about, 90%, 95% dark chocolate, all right, it's going to be very, very high in fat intake. Again, if you were to have dark chocolate, it'd have to be small amounts of dark chocolate. I'm not scared of eggs. That's good, Joshua. A lot of people are. A lot of my clients are slow to add eggs to their diet, or if they do, they only want to add the egg whites. That makes sense about the chocolate. Yeah, a lot of people don't. The thing is, Jazz, a lot of people don't take into consideration with dark chocolate just how much caffeine there is in there, plus all of the fats. Okay, now you guys have been tremendous. I just want to say big thank you, big shout out to everyone that came in today. All right, now we're not quite done yet, but I want to give a big shout out. Joshua, Mary, Melanie, all right, with Steph, Jazz, absolutely, Jacob, Mac, all right, everyone, thank you so much. All right, I hope I don't miss anyone. Mary, I hope I said you. Thank you so much. Hope I did not miss anyone. Tremendous, tremendous support. Thank you so much. All right. And again, we're going to get back to these live streams. We're going to be making sure that we're getting these live streams, daily videos going. All right. You guys seem to be interested in the tea, so maybe that's something that we can we can explore a little bit more. I want to thank you, everyone who's joined the channel. We have some new individuals who've joined the channel, who've hit the join button, became a Fit Team member. Thank you so much for that support. I really appreciate it. If you're just watching, if you're going to watch this later, I appreciate you. You know who you are. Thank you so much to those individuals who've left super chats. Appreciate you guys. You guys make it possible for me to do this. All right, remember, this is not my full-time job. All right, our super chat function, all right, our thanks function is a way to giving back and supporting the channel. So thank you. Big shout out to all of you guys, our Fit Team members, you know who you are, and our super chatters. Thank you again, you know who you are. But again, big thank you to everyone who has hit that thumbs up button. We're almost at 30. So big thank you to you guys. All right, if we can keep the support up, all right, I will look more into the teas. Okay? Like I said, I run 2 businesses in the health field, all right? If we can keep that support up, if I can keep this consistency up, of course, you know I'm going to do it. I want to share as much value as I can with you guys. Such an important video. Thanks for helping. My pleasure, Jazz. Thank you for coming in. My pleasure, Joshua. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. So if we want to keep going over that, if we want some tea videos, some homemade tea videos that, you know, I have, other ones that not necessarily I make, but ones that I have that can help to reduce anxiety and improve our overall health. Those are going to be things that can be coming on the channel. All right. Those I have to film though. It takes a little bit more time and effort, but I'm willing to put that in because of the support from you guys. All right. Support from the people who are going to be listening to this later, because I know there's going to be some questions. I always get a couple emails after each one of these live streams, and I always get some comments from you guys after these live streams. So again, big thank you. Big thank you to those Fit Team members who have joined the channel, supporting the channel. Big thank you to everyone who has left a super chat, a way to support the channel. But a big thank you to everyone who came in today and who thumbed up the video. You guys are awesome. Your support is amazing. I'm glad that you guys were able to ask so many questions when it came to teas, other foods, things like that. We'll have to make sure that we get into some of the lifestyle changes for anxiety, for stress. We'll get into that's stress and anxiety. All right, I've had them combined, but I think anxiety alone, all right, is its own special topic. Especially go back and listen. If you missed it, go back and listen to the beginning of this video and why I separated them. All right, anxiety is just at an all-time high. It's continuing to go up and up, and it's continuing to go up and up all over the world, as you guys saw, everywhere from the United States to Australia to India to England to Brazil, Argentina. I went through them all. You guys, if you heard it, all right, then you know it's a global phenomenon, epidemic, pandemic, whatever you want to call it. All right, but we know that it's going on all over the world. So thank you so much for the support. Again, be on the lookout for more lives. I'm going to be doing more of these. We're on a Monday. Usually I do them Wednesday and Saturday or Sunday, but I want to start getting into more and more of them. All right. So thank you so much, guys. You are all appreciated. I really appreciate the support. I have to say, you guys are amazing. I love our community here. I love our Fit Team community. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a healthy, have a happy start of the week. I hope everyone hits their goals. Keep sending me messages on how the goals are coming, guys, for 2023. It's been very interesting to read how your goals are coming along. Of course, I am interested in it. I want to make 2023 the best year for as many people as we can, but it comes with hard work. It's one thing to say that, but we have to put the work in and make sure that we're doing it, not only with our diet, but with, you know, our lifestyle, you know, physically, mentally, spiritually, all of that good stuff. All right. So keep those coming in. Keep those messages coming in. Much appreciated. And again, Mary, thank you so much. I see you in here. Again, thank you so much, Mary. Big shout out to you. Big shout out to everyone else who is in here. Thanks, Mary. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Thank you for your support. So that's it, guys. That's going to be our stream for today. Again, there's going to be a lot more. We're still getting the issues fixed with our camera, so that this way I can be on video. I know it's nice looking at the foods in this nice foods video, but hopefully it's equally as nice seeing my face on there, being able to talk to you one-on-one as I like to do, as you guys know that I like to do. So I think that would be great. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you, Joshua. Appreciate it. You guys have a great, healthy day, and I will talk to you soon. The notifications will go up. They'll go up on the channel, and the notifications will go up on the community tab as well. You can find this. It won't show up in the videos. It'll show up in the live stream. All right, it'll show up in the live tab. All right, so a little change from YouTube, which they're starting to do now. So if you want to go back, if you missed anything, you can go back. It'll be in the live tab, and then you can listen from the very beginning. So thank you, everyone. Stay safe, stay healthy. Go out there, be the best version of yourself. Be patient with yourself, love yourself. And I hope we all reach our goals together. So take care, everyone. Have a great day.